Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Fabulites. This is Angela on channel Be Fabulous You with another edition of Notes on the News, where I share with you headlines from my news feed that I snatched from the larger news feed, and we kick it about the headlines, the subject matter at large, the issues that come up for us that may or may not be related to the article, maybe the article if we've read the article or part of the article or heard the story someplace else, but it's not news. It's just our notes on the news. Like, share, comment, subscribe, and all those other good things. Olive oil. All those other good things. We're working on 1,000 subscribers. So if you are already a charter subscriber, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you like the video, thank you, thank you, thank you. Comments are appreciated. Just coming to check me out is appreciated. All of that helps with building the channel. Hey, welcome on the chat. So thank you, thank you, thank you for all that you do. Wonderful you. So let us jump in and see Habaragani. Let's talk about the good news today as I pull up the Nguzo Saba for today. And we don't do, we're currently not doing one new Nguzo Saba each day that we get together, but we are following the Nguzo Saba through a series of essays that are on endarkment.com. So a paragraph a day. Until we move on to the next Nguzo Saba. We were on Imani before, faith. So what's new and good in your life? While I'm pulling up this information, drop that in the comments. Think about it. Give thanks for it. Celebrate it. Big up it. What's new and good for you personally, for your family, for your community, in the world, all of the good news. This is a moment for good news. And let's see. What up with the Nguzo Saba? Hey, COG, how are you? I was on dang, I went by somebody's live feed last night for like 2 minutes. I think it was the Information Man, and I saw you on there, and I was like, hi. I didn't even have a moment to type in, but I did. I was like, yay, how's COG? So it's really good to see you. Welcome. So let's check out Imani and see if that is if we finish that essay. Imani is faith in Kiswahili. It's Kwanzaa principle number 7. And to believe with all our heart in our creator, our people, our parents, our teachers, our leaders, and the righteousness and victory of our struggle. You know, that's my favorite part. The righteousness and victory of our struggle, the righteousness and victory of our sanctity, the righteousness and the victory of our beauty, the righteousness and sanctity of our existence, the righteousness and sanctity of our families, the righteousness and sanctity of our desires, the righteousness and sanctity of us, of Black us. Yay, Radical Home Sister 2-1, Radical Home Sister, Sister Aja Lee, author of This Black. Okay. Okay, so next paragraph, this is the last paragraph for Imani. Then we'll loop back around to Kwanzaa principle number 1. We must then have faith in ourselves, in our leaders, our teachers, parents, and in the righteousness and victory of our struggle. Faith that through hard work, long struggle, and a whole lot of love and understanding, we can again step back on the stage of human history as a free, proud, and productive people. It is in this context that we can surely speak our own special truth to the world and make our own unique contribution to the forward flow of human history. Alrighty. And then they, at the end of each thing, they say, practice whatever every day. So they say, practice Imani every day, practice faith every day. So how are you practicing faith? How do you demonstrate that you have faith in yourself and your leaders and your family and your community? How are you speaking our own special truth? How are you making a unique contribution to the forward flow of humanity? I mean, these are just questions. I just have questions. I'm just asking questions. All right, let's see. Let's see what the Buddha is up to today. This is a segment that has been named Yo Buddha, Yo Buddha, what up though? Um and let's see what the Buddha has to say. 10. And this is coming off of Pariyatti, Daily Words of the Buddha for August 3rd, 2018. That's tomorrow, but it come out today. So, yeah. Solitude is happiness for one who is content, who has heard the Dhamma and clearly sees. Non-affliction is happiness in the world, harmless toward all living beings. Solitude is happiness for one who is content, who has heard the Dhamma and clearly sees. Non-affliction is happiness in the world, harmlessness toward all living beings. Solitude, when you're content, you can be by yourself. You love to be by yourself because you're in communion with God and in truth and in communion with love and truth and all of those other things, undistracted, except by your own, but as you work through, you have less and less of so when you're in solitude, it can be some of the most peaceful places that you can be. Who has heard the Dhamma, the truth, and clearly sees. All right, so let's jump onto the news feed and see what's going on in the world. Again, this is headline news. We're not doing in-depth analysis here of these news stories. Headline. The Indian government is tearing my family apart. They have a group of people, they the government said they're no longer citizens. That's what's going on in India. I don't know what that group of people is. I was gonna say I don't know why I can't get to the article. So we'll loop back to that. So what if they just said in this country, like black people, you ain't no longer citizens. You got to get out. You ain't got to go home, but you got to get the heck up out of here. Where will we go? What will we do? What would happen to us? I mean, we've been just kicked around and dogged out so bad. I don't know. Where would we go? Where would you go? Anything is possible. It seems like, oh, something like that would never happen, but anything is possible. The India has published a list which effectively strips about 4 million people in the northeastern state of Assam of their citizenship. So 4 million people, that's a lot of people. I don't know. But I know in this country, they're talking about if you became a citizen illegally, which means to me, I don't know, but to me, it seemed like if you black and brown and you became a citizen, it's illegal. So we about to strip you of that citizenship. That seems to be the mission that they're on. Afro-Latinas, as in females, use Instagram and online groups to celebrate their black beauty. Yay. Russia shocked by mysterious murder of 3 journalists in CAR. That's the Central African Republic. So what? But y'all know I'm fascinated by these journalists and what goes on with journalists and like how dangerous it seems to be a journalist. Google partner Pan-African off of Moguldom. I did look at it. I don't remember the name of the African institution. I just want to be more familiar with things in Africa and things African. So that's why we're going to say the name of the place. With the African Institute for Mathematical Sciences, AIMS, to offer a master's degree in artificial intelligence. This 1-year African Master's in Machine Intelligence, another term for artificial intelligence, will be available at AIMS Rwanda campus in Kigali from September, according to News Africa, IT News Africa. So anyway, I don't know if that's interesting to anyone, but it was interesting to me. In pictures, Australia's drought seen from the air. So Australia having a drought now. I thought that this was wintertime for them. So I would think this would be more their wet season. And maybe that's why it's a drought, because it's supposed to be their wet season and they're not getting wet. Because I think when it's winter here, it's summer there. So I would think it would be winter. A lone tree is the only sign of life near a water trough on a farm outside Waglet, New South Wales. About 98% of South Wales is drought stricken, and two-thirds of neighboring Queensland. As a result, farmers are having to order food for their livestock, which raises their costs considerably. A cow walks away from a water tanker in Tamworth, New Wales South. I can't seem to be able to do anything else apart from just feed and keep things going. A dried up dam near Gunnedah in South Wales. Look at this image of the dried up dam. Except for the fact that it kind of represents, sadness and suffering for people. It's really quite an interesting image. It's like the colors and everything are really beautiful. Sheep eat grain outside Tamworth. These are the sheep. Whoever took these images, these are aerial views. Parts of Australia saw the second warmest summer on record between December and February, and the country as a whole saw its driest July since 2002. An irrigated paddock next to one that has not been watered. About a quarter of Australia's agricultural output comes from New South Wales. So the drought has hit this industry particularly hard. So you see that green and that brown, that's the difference. While touring the worst hit areas in June, PM Malcolm Turnbull said there was a clear link to climate change. I don't know how many people in rural New South Wales that I talk to don't think the climate is getting drier and rainfall is becoming more volatile. I mean, these images are just, okay, so y'all saw these. But look at this. This is a cow walking away from a water tanker. I mean, look at that image. I think this is livestock feeding. A lone tree. Can you see the tree? It's over there. It's the only sign of life. Anyway, well, prayers out to Australia and the farmers and the folks and all of us all over the world who are dealing with global warming, which is everyone. Even if you're not part of an industrial society and benefiting from the spoils of war or the spoils of warfare or the spoils of selfishness, you're still having to deal with the drought. You're still having to deal with global warming. You're still having to deal with climate change. Even if you're like an innocent poor person, just out here. So prayers out to all of us. Tennis star James Blake blasts NYPD for failing to notify him about trial for officer who brutally tackled him. Now, I think this story is a couple years old. I think this person was like at a hotel in New York, and an officer came and just like jumped on him, and he's like, the officer is like, you are officer. It's like you fit the description. I think this is an old story. So, or what happened? Hey, much love to you. Thank you for the flowers, Ron Redburn. So I think this is an old story. But what had happened is that the trial happened, and the guy didn't know. He wants to be at the trial probably to be like, this is some bullshit. I don't like it. I don't appreciate it. I'm mad. I'm pissed off. What up, my dude? Question. Yeah, this happened in 2015. Blake said it would have been common courtesy, but instead it looks more like a cover up. A coverment. That's like a cover up by the government because it's police officers. I don't know what their standard operating procedure is. It's a disappointment that the de Blasio administration and NYPD failed to notify me. Unfortunately, it is all too common for New Yorkers who experience abusive actions by police officers to be kept in the dark about NYPD disciplinary proceedings and outcomes. And yeah, it seems like if you're sincere and someone has been hurt and you making things right, then you would want the person who had been hurt to be a part of that process and to be aware of what's going on with the process. I'm just saying if you were sincere. I don't know why I do all of that with my hands. What does it mean? I don't know. Okay. Eritrea, and Somalia restore ties, want UN sanctions lifted. I like to hear about ties restored. I like about between countries in Al-Kibalan among African people, between black folks. I like, hey, Rottweiler, what's up, Rott? I like to hear about black people coming together and uniting in love and respect and, mending fences. All of that is good. So I don't know. I didn't know that Eritrea and Somalia had beef or an issue. But I didn't know that Eritrea and Ethiopia had an issue till we started talking about it on Notes on the News. I mean, I'm just saying I'm very ignorant about what goes on in Al-Kibalan, the continent of Al-Kibalan. They've agreed to restore diplomatic relations. Both countries announced Monday in another thaw in the restive Horn of Africa region. So I guess there's been some stuff going on in the Horn of Africa. Did you know about it? I didn't. While Somalia's leader called for sanctions on Eritrea to be removed, Eritrea's information minister shared the joint statement on Twitter. So Twitter is like a standard way to make official government statements now. Welcome to 2018. Ended a historic 3-day visit to one of the world's most closed off nations. I guess that's Eritrea. Oh no, what a guan. The countries have not had diplomatic ties for nearly 15 years. Somalia President Mohamed Abdullahi Mohamed. His name is Mohamed. Called for the lifting of UN sanctions on Eritrea over its alleged support of the Somalia-based Al-Shabaab extremist group, which Eritrea has long denied. We urge all economic sanctions and embargo imposed on the people of Eritrea must be lifted so that the economic integration of the Horn of Africa region can be realized. I'm here for integration. I'm here for economic integration. Let's get together. Can't we all just get along? We can all just get along. Eritrea and Somalia will work together in unison, working together in unison to foster regional peace, stability, and economic integration. Eritrea strongly, he added, the information minister, Yemeni Meskel, he said Eritrea strongly supports the political independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity of Somalia. Yes, independence. I'm here for independence, political independence, and other independence. I'm here for sovereignty, and I'm here for territorial integrity. Eritrea appealed. Oh no, what happened, Ron? Oh, your uncle passed. Okay. Yeah, sorry for your loss. Prayers out for you and your family during the transition time. And always. Eritrea appealed for the lifting of sanctions at the council meeting, citing support from Ethiopia and Somalia, but Djibouti said the measures must remain in place until a border dispute between the two countries is resolved. The Security Council imposed sanctions on Eritrea in 2009 over its refusal to withdraw its troops from the disputed area and its rejection of all efforts aimed at mediating between the two countries. Sweden's UN, and we don't want to hear it. Okay. So anyway, let's keep moving. First female judge in Alabama swarmed by cops and arrested for stealing campaign sign. Zimbabwe man living in Idaho for 15 years to be deported. I just looked up. I have 15 minutes. I got to hurry up and just read the headlines. Vanderbilt University officials speak out after racist email rocks campus. Cat stolen from Russian museum found after social outcry. The cat was black. I'm glad they found the cat and returned it to its rightful home. It made me think about black people being stolen from our home, and I wish that we could have been returned back to our rightful home, and that there was some outcry about our stealing, and maybe there was an outcry, and it's just been 300 years, and I just don't know about it. How sunflowers and selfies caused the zombie apocalypse. So some people were taking some selfies at a farm where they had sunflowers. They thought it would be cool to get artists to come in and pay $750, I think, to paint and draw and do artistic things. And they got overrun by thousands of people before they opened. They had room for 300. They ain't never had 300 there. Before they opened, the people was in line waiting to get in, and the zombies just came over and they ran over the whole sunflower farm. So as you can imagine, some of their sunflowers were ruined and the beauty was diminished, all because of social media. Swiss police say dogs should wear shoes in heat wave. They're having a heat wave in Switzerland. Now I thought about Bella needing to wear shoes when it's real cold, because she go outside and she be like lifting her paws up if it's real cold. But when I try to put shoes on her, she like fights me. She does not like it. So I don't know what she would do. I never thought about putting shoes on her when it was hot. Trump administration reveals plans to roll back vehicle fuel standards. What a surprise. The Trump shoes on a dog. I know, and then the shoes are expensive. Like you can get some cheap, but then they'll like lose them in the snow and stuff. And I tried to explain to her. I saw a thing on YouTube where you could make them from like balloons and stuff. I can't remember what it was, but Bella was resistant. She was like, I'm not here. Walk weird with shoes. I've never seen dogs in shoes. She's like, I am not here for the shoe put on nation. You're welcome, Ron. I'm sorry to hear about. I don't know if it was Sutton or whatever, but it seemed like when people make their transition, it can be, it seemed like it's always kind of tough for me. 3 foreigners kidnapped and killed in Kabul. White folks have a new and improved lynching law, and they're calling it Stand Your Ground. I love that headline because I feel like that's exactly what it is. Let's call a thing a thing. 10-year-old beats Michael Phelps' childhood swimming record. I like forward progress. Like, I like the idea that, like, okay, somebody had a record when they were 10, and, they moved on and become, I think this guy was the Olympic guy. I don't know. But I like that other people are coming up. It's like, yeah, progress. We like progress and forward motion. I do. Utility company under fire for resetting Black woman's account with racist password. Police investigating after American flag replaced with Nazi flag in public park. That's coming off of the Griot. Oldest library in Germany unearthed by Cologne archaeologists. Cologne, I guess, is in Germany. A sunrise from space. Oh, that was a beautiful image. It's coming off the BBC. All I did was be Black. Smith College employee calls cops on Black student eating lunch on campus. Hello, cops. Somebody's here eating lunch. They don't say that when they call the cops. What do they say? They just lie and make up a story. Remember when that guy got killed? Well, I think it was a Walmart. They said he had a gun, and or somebody called in and said he had a gun or something, and he was pointing it at people. And meanwhile, they juxtaposed the footage from, I think it was Walmart, with the call, and the person was never pointing the gun at anyone. It was a toy gun, I think, that they had pulled off the shelf. And I think the cops came in guns blazing. And I think that person might have made their transition. I don't remember, but it was like the person was just lying. And I have a really hard time sometimes believing that people just lie, but they do. But it's just kind of like, I'm like, how could they just be lying? He's not doing, why would they do that? They don't have to lie. Police want every excuse to attack Black people. Yeah, maybe. Maybe they just say it's somebody Black here. But then the police don't need nobody to call them and tell them it's somebody Black. They could just go out walking around shooting Black people. Bangladesh teenagers demanding road safety paralyzed Dhaka. How a blind Call of Duty player is racking up thousands of kills. So I don't know a lot about video games, but I just thought the most basic thing is you need to be able to see in order to play them. So I just was like, well, that's an interesting headline. How a blind Call of Duty, I think Call of Duty is a video game, player is racking up thousands of kills. It's taken time, but the African Call of Duty is the shite. It's taken time, but the African crypto revolution is about to get started. Wow, blind. That story was coming off of Engadget. Good afternoon, the underrated darkness. Cryptocurrencies. Anybody know anything? He have cheat codes. That's like that game where it's like 9 little chipmunks, and they'll like come out of these holes, and you're supposed to use this hammer to like beat them down. And when I was a teenager, I would just lean over it, lean over all 9 holes. And that's how I won the game. I would cheat. But it was fun because you get all these tickets. And then I go, how it's like, if you have 200 tickets, you can get this piece of 10-cent junk. So I go and like pick out whatever junk. The Ultra Instinct. Is that the Ultra Instinct? Zimbabwe election, Army patrols ghost town Harare. YouTube dad under fire for tweets targeting black women and colorism. I don't know why people want to. Why did black women do something to you? Why are you coming after us? Don't be a hater. Here's why Tyler Perry declined directing gigs with Marvel and DC Comics. He basically said, if you work with Marvel and DC Comics, you got to collaborate with a whole bunch of different people. And I want to do what the F I want to do. I don't want to be working with no 50 or 100 people trying to come to a conclusion, them telling me what to do or all of that. No, I'm Tyler Perry. Y'all know he write, direct, star in, produce. He want to do all of that. He don't want to be bothered. And he don't have to be bothered. It's good to know who you are and what your strengths are and what you want to be bothered with and what you don't want to be bothered with, and stick to that. Argentina notebook scandal. Driver details decades of bribes. At least 20 prayers out to 20 people who respect about Tyler Perry. It's all something in each situation to respect and admire, because I feel like God is everywhere and in everybody. So we got to seek out the God and the good and celebrate that. But he is moist as hell. Walt Disney World is ditching plastic straws, a move they hope will cut down on 175 million straws each year. I bet you Disney is a big complex. If they cut down on plastic, that's probably had the plastic in the world right there. There's even more evidence that your waistline is one of the best ways to tell if you're healthy, especially as you age. Now, I think when I did the waist test, my stomach was more inches than it should be. And I don't really have a big stomach. I don't have as small a stomach as I used to have. But I mean, I'm just saying. So anyway, we got to continue. We got to eat good. That's the most important thing. Drink plenty of water. Eat good, meaning plenty of raw foods, raw fruits and vegetables, whole grains. Drink plenty of good water and do sit-ups. I'm gonna do a couple right now. And do some I need to work on my diet. We all do. And the planks, we need to do some planks. So do something today to love yourself. A couple things today. And share it. Share the celebration. Op-ed, the future of Michigan is Abdul El-Sayed and the black women warriors pushing to get him elected as governor. Toledo chief defends police in wake of Lamar Richardson shooting and high number of officer-involved deaths. 3 men arrested for stealing over 15 million payment cards. Riots shake Zimbabwe as election results delayed. Black abolitionists calls on Queen Elizabeth to commemorate 400th anniversary of first Africans to arrive on English soil. A black abolitionist. So we have abolitionists today. Who the abolitionists? Are they people trying to get people out of jail? That's what I wanted to know. This is coming off of Atlanta Black Star. I didn't read the abolitionists. That's interesting. Mexico crash. Passenger films inside of plane. Nicki Minaj ponders delaying Queen album over Tracy Chapman sample. I like Tracy Chapman. I like her music. I like her voice. It's something when women have that deep voice and they sing. I don't know. I just wish I had one of those deep voices and I could sing and be like, I don't know, but just the singing or whatever. That's what I wish. A man is suing McDonald's after he says his Diet Coke was spiked with a heroin substitute. As if the regular Coke isn't bad enough. Who did that? Did they have to pay for the drug to spike it? What a guan. That story sounds weird. Catholic diocese in Pennsylvania names 71 priests and clergy members accused of child sex abuse dating back decades. I'm not laughing at the child sex abuse. 71 priests. I'm laughing at you being like, yo, wait, what? A man is suing McDonald's. This coming off of Google. McDonald's after he says his Diet Coke was spiked with a heroin substitute. Vanderbilt University faculty. Students receive deeply disturbing email promoting white supremacy. Lauryn Hill stuns in first fashion campaign for Woolrich. Woolrich, I don't know who it is, but Lauryn Hill is really a very beautiful woman. She's very striking. She has nice African features. She's very beautiful. And it's something about her, like she's charismatic. She has like when you see her, she's like attractive. She's magnetic. So I saw that image and it was a nice image. Urban Meyer put on paid administrative leave after report shows he was likely aware of abuse allegations against former assistant coach. In love with Lauryn Hill. I love Lauryn Hill. And I think that I think that this has something to do. She's a very beautiful woman. I think this has something to do with the Ohio State molestation. But it seemed like a lot of times people are complicit. Oh, this person is getting abused. I don't care as long as we make money. Oh, that person is getting abused. I don't care as long as I get to participate in the abuse. Oh, this one is getting abused. I don't care as long as I don't know what, but I just don't care if it doesn't affect me and mine, or I get to make money, or I get to abuse somebody. Mueller is taking another shot at interviewing Trump as president escalates his attacks on the Russia probe. Are we in war? Deadly riots rock Zimbabwe's capital as vote results delayed. Attorneys request to relocate trial of Dallas cop who killed black teen in moving vehicle denied. I think the person was concerned, oh, all of these people have heard about the story. I can't get a fair trial. Maybe he feels that it's too many black people. I mean, I'm just wondering. I don't know. U.S. Embassy in London auctions off toilet rolls and old goods. Black Panther spinoff author Ninde Okafor's African inspiration. The imagery was beautiful. That was coming off the BBC. I follow her on Twitter. I really like some of her imagery or whatever. Dahomey Mothers, the all-female army that protected modern-day Benin. The Dahomey Mothers. Disinvited. The bridesmaids no longer needed. I don't need your services anymore. You're dismissed. 100 women playing mother to El Salvador's gang children. The 4 major rail networks enslaved African labor helped build in North America. There are so many institutions, so many systems, so many businesses, corporations, structures in this country that were built by enslaved Africans, exploited Africans, underpaid Africans, that were built on our backs. That how do you even begin to count or take into account these things? Reparations. I mean, it's like the railroad, but you can start counting, but can you stop? If you start counting the things that we built that are built on our backs, when you gonna stop counting? I'm just wondering. Vietnam Bridge, walking through a god's hands. Oh, it's a bridge. It looks like a hand is holding you up. It's interesting. Machu Picchu train crash. Collusion injures 15 tourists in Peru. I'm supposed to be finished by now, and I'm not. Oops. Dang, I should have never done that, because now it's going to take me backwards. Look, the pressure. I was perspiring on my upper lip from the pressure and the stress. Habaragani, Imani, Faith. Habaragani, Imani, Faith. Habaragani, Imani, Faith. Hey, Hakeem, how you doing? Ivy got to go to rehearsal. I can't take my time. Let me see where I am. How you spell that? Imani, Imani, Imani. Okay, I think I'm getting close. Closer. Okay, yeah. Machu Picchu train crash, collusion injures 15 tourists in Peru. So prayers out to the people who made their transition there. A train crash. I wonder if it was people other than the 15 tourists killed, and they only telling us about the 15 tourists. Korea remains. U.S. finds one dog tag among war dad returned from North Korea. So, yeah, I can't even get into that right now. Netflix announces it won't release Louis Farrakhan biopic. They said they was gonna do it. Now we not gonna do it. South Africa to amend constitution to begin redistribution of land to black owners. Woo! France bans smartphones in schools. Tiffany Haddish reveals she was raped at age 17 by police cadet. The experience put me in such a messed up place for a long time. Mother sues after 7-year-old son with ADHD, 7-year-old, 7, 5, 6, 7, is handcuffed by police at school. I was horrified. I bet she was. A single ransomware creator made almost 6 million. Now, this is the ransomware that shut down Atlanta. They made almost $6 million. I don't know if it was just on like the Atlanta hustle, but good Lord. Survivors who lost 9 family members in duck boat accident suing company for willful ignorance. Oh, what if you could start suing people for willful ignorance? How many people could you sue? Fans sound off after Dwayne Martin requests spousal support from Tisha Campbell amid divorce. How likely are you to survive a plane crash? Mexico plane crash. All 103 people on board survive. White officer paid $65,000 for emotional distress after fellow officers taunted him over black ancestry test. He took a test. He looked white. When you see the picture, he looked white, mayonnaise white. He in Michigan. He took a test. He found out he was 18 to 33% black of African ancestry, and his colleagues, he'd been working there for 20 years. They walking down the hall talking about Black Lives Matter, putting up a Santa Claus with a black Santa Claus with 18% on it. Judge orders defendant's mouth taped shut during sentencing hearing. I'll tell you when you can talk. Race of mass shooters influences how the media covers their crimes, new study shows. That's in Not News Today. We already know that. Disappearance of top Chinese actress Fan Bingbing concerns fans. She ain't been on social media. She ain't been seen. Where's she at? They want to know. Tiffany Haddish, we talked about that. Prayers out to her and anybody who's been experienced rape and all of that. Activist launches racial social experiment wearing Caucasian t-shirt, and white folks can't handle it. Now, instead of the Redskins, it looks like the Redskins, but it says Caucasian. Why didn't it say white skins? And the people were upset. They're like, that's disrespectful. An old woman told him. He like, well, what if it was the Redskins? She's like, oh, that's just a logo. Learn the history behind the types of African-American music in 10 minutes. That's coming off of Black Then. Parents are paying as much as $35 an hour for Fortnite coaches for their kids. Fortnite is a video game. These esports. French rappers Booba and Caris brawl at Paris airport. Security guard arrested for macing protesters questions why he was charged for doing the same things police do. Grocery store calls police on black woman feeding homeless in parking lot. They say she shoplifted, but she never even went inside of the place. All right, I gotta go. That's it for this edition, for this moment of Notes on the News. Like, why such an obsession with Fortnite? Like, share, comment, subscribe. I might pick up inside. Peace.